Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, playing Age of Wonders Planetfall, and as you will know if you've watched any of the videos in this current series, I'm taking off from exactly where I finished the last video, Shock Horror, and we're attacking this settlement, and as I said before, if you attack another settlement, colony, whatever, if you win the battle, you control the colony. That can be good if it's a different faction from yours, because then you'll gain the units of that faction, which will obviously be different to ones you have, so that can be a good thing. And even if it's the same as your own colony, the same faction, not literally your faction, but they're the same race, let's say, then you get a free colony without having to make your colonizer, which costs resources, so it's all good. So we can attack this, but let me just show you a thing. So if we attack this, there's you can see they're quite powerful. They've got 650 for 4 units. So another thing is, as I said in previous, the amount of units doesn't always reflect the amount of power. So they've only got 4, but they're 650, and we've got 6, and we're only 805. So that tells you that their 4 units are pretty decent. So we can attack them. It's a low risk battle. Now you've got the options there, you can see at the bottom, of manual combat, which is what I've done in the rest of these videos, and auto combat. Low risk battle sounds good, although you wouldn't think from the difference in power it would be. So we can do a low risk battle on manual, which is obviously what it is, or auto. Auto combat is like it is in most games, even back to the old PC games like Total War, which I used to play loads. And I would say that it's similar to all those kind of games, where if you do auto combat and you're very evenly matched or not that much overmatched, you might end up with a not very good result. If you're obviously going to kick ass, then do auto combat, because it just saves you wasting time. I think in this, just to show you, we will do a auto combat, because there's plenty of other things we can attack, and you've seen combat already. So let's just do that and just see what happens. You can always replay it if you don't like the result, so that's another thing. So we won, and okay, that's probably good. I've done this before when I've been playing my own playthrough, and we attacked the settlement, and I can guarantee you 100%, had I played that in manual play, I would have lost more than 1 unit. So that is actually a good result for me. Yay us. And yeah, we've won. We only lost 1 unit, we killed all theirs, so that was worth doing. And there's no exact way of knowing how those things will turn out, but the one very good thing about how this game is as you can see at the bottom, you can re-entry, and re-entry is like do it again, basically. So if you do a auto battle and you don't like how it works out, you can play it again manually and then do it that way. So there's no real loss to doing an auto. So yeah, there you go. We've won. We didn't have to do a great deal. We're done, and we walk into that colony that's now our colony. So let's just have a look at that. Turn this settlement into a colony. Turn this settlement into a unit. That's another thing you get, by the way. If you take over a colony of another NPC faction, regardless of whether it's your own race or another, you can either have the colony, or you can make the colony a colonizer, which is basically the option to move that colony to somewhere else. That's what that is. That colony is quite nicely situated, not near ours, but not too far. There's not really much point to make it into a colonizer. We could invite them to join us, but then that doesn't benefit us necessarily, because we still have to have other colonies. So in this situation, we'll make it into a colony. Like I said, everything takes the next turn. So you can see that kind of little cloud of lightning and smoke, that's just constructing. Although it's already a colony, so I don't know what we need to construct, but anyway. So that's how that goes, which is all good. Now we've freed up our army, and we've got the one extra unit that we made to come down there, and we can... Oh, okay. We've joined our units because we had that extra unit we brought down from... that we created to sort of bolster our strength, and so we've got an extra unit to put in our thing. As you can see from all the little green bars in our army, they're all not doing really well on health. They do naturally regain their health, but yeah, we'll need to like watch that before we do another battle. So we've done that, we've done that. We're making a unit at our main colony, or our first colony. We've got our bird. Yes, we were going to claim that and make a forward base. We have another bird somewhere. There it is over there. It's funny because I play so many different games in the time in between when I'm playing these games for the channel that I often forget where I was in games. So that's why I have to keep checking. So yeah, that one's run out of moves anyway, so there you go, we've run out of moves, we'll skip our turn. Get all the enemy bits and pieces and NPC bits and pieces, and there we go. And we've got our new colony made. We can automatically go there and we can make various units. You have to, like in most games, you don't get a kind of some places you'll have a specialist building to make a unit, and that doesn't extend to all your colonies. So if one area has a specialist training centre, it's only that place you'll be able to make that unit unless you upgrade all the other areas. So in this colony, I think we'll put a recreational dome because it sounds good, it adds to happiness. Again, we will want to do this extra military structure, but we're not going to be attacked yet, he said, famous last words. So let's just build a happiness dome over there. Oh, okay, that's good. That's another thing I was waiting for happen. So what will happen is over time you can't find new. I'm going to call them leaders because I don't like the term heroes, because like I said in the beginning videos, they're not heroes. That sounds very fantasy, and they just turn up and they're not really done anything for us. So I'm going to call them leaders. So you'll get these new leaders who turn up, and you can decide to hire them. So there's one, she just turns up, she wants to know if she can join you. They don't come free, but you have to wait for them. They come around every so many turns. Is not an exact amount, of reasons I've never noted it, and you don't get an endless amount. So I don't know if it's a standard amount. I think I got 5 or 6 in once, and they don't just come ongoing forever. So you can't like have like 20. With a limited amount. You can recruit them, and they all cost energy to recruit, and as with other things in this game, each time you recruit one, the price for the next one goes up. So we can recruit this one for 100 in energy. You can also reject them, and that means they go away forever, as it says, which seems a bit brutal. Or you can request a different one, and they come in 2 turns. So if you don't like this one for some reason, it may be you don't like the fact they're obviously a ranged unit with looks like a sniper rifle. You can examine them anyway. Let's just see what
Heroes are special units that lead your armies. Commander, you are also represented as a hero on the menu.
Yeah, I'm a hero. Everyone's a hero. So there you go. As I said, they've got a laser sniper rifle. So you might want to reject that unit because you might want someone that's melee, or not a sniper. You might want someone that's got a different specialisation, and you can check what they've got, all their buffs, and their mod is, what's their mod? Gains detection, can no longer be flanked. That sounds pretty good. So you may want to reject someone aesthetically. You may not like, one of those alien-looking things as your leader. I mean, that's personal choice, depending on what you want to go for. So in this situation, I can think of no reason why I'd want to reject her, because a sniper is useful, her mod is useful, and yeah, you don't know if you're going to get anyone better. So there we go, we've got our first leader. And when you've got a leader, as you can see, you've got 5 other slots. You can add, we're creating a unit there, I think, so we can add a new unit to her army into a total of 5 more, and that will be a new army, so that's all good. We've got our previous army here. We're just going to go around and check out some of these things. So there's another place that we could build a forward base, and as I said earlier, those that green, I can't remember what they call that green circle, which is the third kind of utility, the third kind of energy, this energy consume item, that, which I can't remember what they call it. But anyway, those 3 things are the substances you need to play in the game mostly. There's other things as well, is research and blah, blah, but those are the 3 ones you use almost all the time. And as you can see, we haven't got enough to make a base. So again, you'll want to decide when you use those things. They're quite useful. We can't use it yet. Later on, you can get a lot of that, and you can end up with so much. I think there's a limit as well to that. I think it's like 200, and then it won't stack anymore. But you use that often because you can use that in diplomacy, enemy factions, the NPC ones that offer you quests. If you don't want to do their quest and don't want to annoy them, you can kind of buy out of it sometimes by using that. These options when you attack NPC colonies, like I've already taken over one in a battle, but sometimes you can ask them to join you, and that costs that. So that green circle, I'm going to call it. So yeah, that can be useful. And as you can see, we can't even start another forward base because we haven't got any more of that. So we can wait. Next turn we will have anyway. So is what it is. We've got our other forward column that we just made. We'll continue flying off to see what might be over there. Clicking out of that, we'll see what that is. We know we can't make any more forward bases at the moment. Yeah, there's some things there. What you're really looking for when you're flying off into do these scouting is, number one, you're looking for see what the lay of the land is. You know, see if there's anything specifically interesting. You know, there may be one of these sectors that's got something very special that gives an extra bonus. And of course, you're also looking to see where the enemy, not the NPC factions, they're going to be all over the place. Like I said, they could even be in your own sectors, but the other AI players are going to be. Because once you find their borders, that can kind of tell you where you might want to start building up forces and things like that. So that's why we're kind of doing that as well. Where's our, we've got our other bird thing, which will fly over there, and there you go. What's that there? It's an army of paladins. That's one of the NPC things. So, and again, they've obviously controlling some interesting looking facility, which we would ideally like to control at some point. There's quite a few things here. There's something there. What's that? There's something here. Heavy weapons factory. So some sectors have quite a lot of in advance, plus 20 of industry, and you gain a shield bonus. So some sectors just seem to have a lot of things. Hopper Hound Nest, so that sounds not very nice, but yeah, there's quite a lot of things in that area, so it's something to bear in mind. It's the other side of the mountains, so we may not go there in a hurry, but it's something to bear in mind. So let's just see if we can. What are we doing here? We're still building something, and we're still making a unit, so we can't really do anything else there. We're already researching, double check. We still are, yes. We've got 2 turns to finish both our research lines. We can't do anything else there because we've got 3 turns to finish the recreation dome. So we've done all the things we can do. We'll end our turn. And this game's also very much how much you want to do battles. I mean, there's always battles. There's always these. There's always these random places. There's a random place with some bugs, and there's always some weird enemies. Not just the other AI player enemies, not just NPC faction enemies, but just random bugs and marauders and things to fight. And you can kind of decide how much you want to be fighting and how much you want to be building, and it's really a choice. And there's not an answer, because it's not. It's like most things. Oh, this looks interesting. What's this? So that's one of those really good things. You get plus 60 in energy, plus 30 in industry, and you get population bonuses. So that's very good. But we'd have to get that, and so yeah, that would be worth having. So some of those things are very, very good. But yeah, there's no right or wrong, because if you fight battles, you can lose unit, but you can your units get experience. So does your leader. If you've got a leader in that army, you don't have to have a leader in your armies, by the way. But yeah, you get experience, but you can lose units. You can gain loot and things you find, but you can also lose things. So there's no right and wrong. It's all about what, you know, a call at the moment. You might think that's a good battle, that's not a good battle, and it's all about playstyle. Some people would want to play this in a more civilization style game, where you're kind of empire building and you fight battles if and when you have to, and some people might want to play this in a more XCOM-y kind of way, where the battles are the main thing and civilization building is kind of a sideline to get better units. But it's all a matter of choice, and it gives you the choice. So we have got the resources to build a forward base. Now what's this here? Paragon Barracks. So that's something we wouldn't really want to attack yet. Later on, when we will end up at war with all the different NPC factions, you can't keep them all sweet forever, then we might want to, that might be relevant, but at the moment it's a Paragon Barracks, so there's not much point in doing much with that. And I'm quite interested in this sector now. I mean, that, as I said, lots of sectors that have got good things. To claim the sector and put a forward base, you actually have to enter that. So you can see it says enter. So the only way to even claim that sector would be to enter that, and like I said, those are not easy battles, but we will want to do that really at some point, because number one, it's a really good sector and it's quite near our colony. So at the moment, I think we'll just make a forward base here. And the reason you do that is it's a claim on the sector, and also it means you've got a small force army there. Once we leave, we've still got a little base with an army, and it just protects the borders of our actual colonies. So there's reasons to do that. We have used up all our green circle resource now, but we'll get more, and you can get more by doing different missions and by doing different things happening, so it's all good. So now we've done that, because we're there, we'll just move on a bit just to see what's over here. And the answer is nothing very exciting looking. Desert, possible colony location. That doesn't mean anything exciting. These places you can't put a colony because it's next to your original colony, or because there's reasons there might be some hazard there that you don't want, but that doesn't mean much. I mean, so the thing you're looking at really is what else is there, and there's fertile plains, but you kind of get those things, and arid, and so there's no special thing there. But no, we could put a colony there maybe in the future. What's this? Something else? But that would be good, because that cosmite thing, you use that to build lots of units. It's very useful. So if we got that, or that's occupied, so again we'd have to sort of fight somebody there or go into that, you get a bonus of 5 of that every turn, so that would be very useful as well. And again, like with what battles you pick and everything, you won't be able to take over every sector with every useful thing and every useful bonus. You'll have to pick which ones are beneficial, balancing it out with which ones are doable, because some might be more beneficial, but they're probably going to be even harder to do. So yeah, it's all balanced. I'm going to just go around there so I can see what's there. Like if it tells you the strength of the enemy, I don't know. That's still creating something. That's still we think we've made our, yeah, we can build another building there because we've built our building. So now we will do, okay. Like I said, these things you can only do one in every area. We haven't done one here, and I tend to save that until we need it, because at the moment we don't really need any of them. So until I find out, I suddenly think, oh my god, I really need one of these, I'll leave that. So we'll have standard military infrastructure, which is a good defence thing. And that's fine, and we'll end our turn. So as I said in the previous video, I think, where I touched on this more, it's more, this game's much more like a kind of Age of Empires civilization feel to it, because you're ongoingly kind of building up your colonies, settlements, everything, and battles happen sometimes. They can happen more if you want them to, but it's not, it's much more like those than it's like XCOM and Phantom Doctrine and Phoenix Point. The game's not geared to, the battles are fun, but the game's not geared to this kind of endless battle, and battle is the main thing. So you'll have a lot of time sometimes where you're just building and exploring, which is not bad or good, it's just different. Paragon declared war, that's nice of them, and there's a domain invasion at Handyfield. Handyfield's that new sector. That can mean, so domain invasion, just so you know, what that is basically any enemy, and it can be a marauder, it can be anything, has entered your sector. So there's no need to panic, because you'll first see that and you'll think, oh my god, what's that? And you'll think there's some big event going on, but basically it's some...
These are marauders. Hostile
some marauders, not some particularly powerful marauders that have just walked in, and they won't attack our colony because they wouldn't succeed. They might, but they'll lose. But they're just walking through. So we might, if we had an army there, which we haven't, we might attack them, but we haven't. But it's not always something to worry about when you see a domain invasion. Paragon faction declared war. I don't know why they did that. That's not very nice. But okay. So what we will do now is we will go back. From experience in this game already, again, if especially the NPC factions aren't the AI player factions, if the NPC factions declare war, don't worry too much. They don't suddenly start attacking from all angles. Sometimes they don't attack at all. Sometimes they'll offer you a quest, and if you don't do it, then they'll get more up the ante a bit, but they don't suddenly all start invading and attacking, so it's not a thing to panic about. But we will bring our main army back that direction just to bolster our defence, and also we've got that invasion there, and we would like to kill those bugs because they're walking through our territory and they didn't ask, so they can die. Okay, over here we've got our other leader, but we're still waiting for that unit that's taking ages to create. I know we've got some research to do, I'll look at that in a moment. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a unit here, because we've got an army there, but we're still waiting for that army's, the first army's complete, they've got 6 in that army, but our other new forming army is still waiting 2 turns, as you can see, for that. And then we've got to make more. So sometimes, as with all these kind of games where you've got different bases to make units, the thing is to make units in different places, and then you can move them all together to form an army. So that's what we will be doing. We'll make a Amazon Huntress, so we can sort of start building up another army, because I've got no idea what these Paragon people are going to do. Phase manipulation. I'm guessing, like I said, I've not played this like loads and loads of times through playthroughs, so I'm guessing that they do different things. Sometimes they may be more aggressive, sometimes they may just sit back and watch, so I don't know. I've not had enough different playthroughs of this to know that they always are passive or they're always aggressive, so we will see. So we've got phase manipulation.
Pass through with my harmonic phase modulator.
Gives us a phase walk modulator, which sounds very nice.
Merely 2 waveforms in alignment.
And we'll just do some new research while she keeps talking about that. Protective grounding. Grounding harness, okay, we'll do that, whatever it is, it sounds good. And we've got Society research, again, that aquatic one, you might want that, but we're not near any sea, so it's not something we desperately need, and it's probably something we desperately need more. And one of these development ones is useful, I would say. Let's go for energy, because energy is probably the one you use the most, or the one you notice the most. So we'll do that. Yeah, I mean, that aquatic one, which I've kind of dissed off or put down a few times, like, don't bother. If you're next to the sea or a river, you may want to do that straight away. So it's not that it's not useful, but when you're in a land area and it's just land everywhere you can see, then it's not the most useful thing to start with, because you can't do much with aquatic developments if you're only on the land. That kind of makes sense. So there you go. Okay, now we'll continue with our flyby, literally, just to see what's over here. Like I said, it's always good to kind of check out the land, and that's what these bird things are. That's what I'm doing with them. That's not what their point is, by the way. They're not scouts. They're just a fast-moving unit that I'm using for that. But what I mean by that is I'm only sending them off to fly around and check out the area. So, you know, at some point they may die when they've got to as far as they can get to, or when they've run into something they can't defend against. But so you can look at all these different things and see what there's in an Imperial stash. Those stashes that are kind of often, sometimes they're defended by some marauders or some bugs, sometimes they're not. They're good to pick up if they're free, but they're not amazing. So they're useful if they're there, always get them because they're free stuff, but it's not worth trying to get to a sector just to pick them up. They're never anything amazing, they're just some energy or some research points, etc. Paragon faction, who that little red face on the right of that panel says they're at war, but whatever. I don't know why they declared war. We didn't really do anything to them, but maybe they're just aggressive. So, okay, it is what it is. I don't think there's anything more we need to do this time, so we will end our turn. Well, that's not good. So okay, it's good. It shows what can happen. So these marauder things, they're attacking our secondary colony. We can do manual combat or auto, and so you can see it says it's a risky battle, and their power's better than ours. I will do this on an auto, and we'll see what happens. And if it's good to show in the video. And also, if we lose, I'll show you what happens then. So we'll do auto. And okay, they lost. So that's fine. And as you could see, that looked like a battle that we might win. I would say in general, I'll read that in a moment. I would say in general, if you do that auto and it's a kind of balanced battle, if you're very good at the manual combat styles and then it's better to do manual. And if you're more likely, as I said in that battle we did before, also I would have lost more units if I did it myself. Sometimes it's best to let the AI do it, but then again, part of the game is the battles, and it's like every battle. I remember when I used to do Total War in computers many years ago, and you want to do the battles kind of, because if you keep just AI winning battles, it becomes a bit boring. So you have to balance out the fact you actually kind of want to fight the battles. If you do lose a battle for your colony or a forward base, don't despair, because it doesn't mean they suddenly take over the whole facility and it's destroyed or something like that. What happens is they'll occupy it, and you can send an army to liberate it. So it's not the end of the world. So if that does happen, if we'd lost that battle, that's why I was a bit casual about it. We just have sent that big army of ours that's got much more power than they had, and we just have taken the colony back. So you lose resources and you lose things at the moment, but it's not the end of the world. So okay, this is another faction of the NPC factions, not the AI players, so they're like the Paragons. So we've not met them yet. We're here to offer you protection. We don't really care. We don't want to start a fight, but we don't really want to offer them protection, so let's just whatever. I don't know if any of those, I don't know if the positive dialogue in that actually helps, The negative might make them angry, but if we say we're going to offer them protection, I don't think it really makes a lot of difference, so whatever. Let's continue over here. See what that section is. River, boost output through research. So there's a river, so we could get more research there, and that's where our aquatic development would be kind of useful. Still making that new unit there, which is going to take a very long time, obviously. I think we'll go that way. Bear in mind, always, when you start making...
linger as a reminder of weapons of mass destruction that were deployed in the past. They have a sector-wide effect on...
Okay, well, comes out in a moment. Yeah, when you start making units, the ones that take a long time, bear that in mind, because then if you lose them, you're going to have to replace them, and it takes a long time. So, as with all games again, units you don't want to lose, whether they're really highly experienced or whether they took a long time to create or you've lots of resources, they're the ones you want to hang on to. What that was saying was these areas with detrimental things in them. So they have radiation or they have earthquakes or something like that, tectonic shifts and phase winds and all manner of things. So I don't know what that one is. That one's fine. So there's something probably over here that's got a negative. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, there you go. That one's got nuclear fallout. So for growing food there's 20% minus, and there's a derelict power plant which gives you a buff or a plus of 10 energy. So again, there's good and bad in it. Sometimes it's only bad, but yeah, it's good to know. So that's that. We still can't really bother to move her anywhere because she's waiting for an army, which she hasn't got. So I think we'll bring our army back. That's a Paragon thing. So you can have, and that's actually kind of what I said, that's a Paragon faction base, where they're occupying a facility anyway. It's not really their base, but and it's right in between our two colonies, and they're not really doing anything aggressive, although they've declared war on us. Maybe they just like the sound of that because it makes them sound important, but they're not really doing anything with it. So we'll head back that way, but we won't antagonise them yet. Also, when you're doing things against anybody, especially, well not especially, but the NPC factions, always check around to see what other... So there's that, which is like a facility they're occupying with 4-power army, but then over here they've got a 6-power army and they've got another... So, you know, if you start a fight there, they've got other armies they could bring in. And like I said, they don't seem overly aggressive even when they declare war, so we'll let them make the... I'm going to say the first move. The first move was they declared war, so let's make them make the second move. So there we go, we've got an army coming back. We're waiting for that unit to finish there. We're waiting for unit to finish here. We've moved our birds, we're doing research, and the world is good, so we'll skip another turn. And I don't mind at all the fact that you get through, like we're going to probably go for this whole little video without actually a battle other than the one I auto won earlier, and I don't mind that at all, he said as a battle comes up. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think that can be very good, because, you know, sometimes you don't want to be fighting all the time, and, you know, some of those games like Phoenix Point comes to mind where there's endless battles and you've hardly finished one where there's another one, and so like I say, it's not, I don't dislike the fact that you can, you know, build things and explore without having to endlessly fight all the time. So the Marauder army has attacked Guessagaingaming, our capital colony, and that might look bad at the beginning, but as you can see, it says very low risk, and that's because there's the Marauders on the left. They've got a 340 attack power. We've got our one leader who was just sort of sitting outside the colony, but we've got our colony militia, which are indicated on the right. So actually we've got quite a good force. So our defender power is 665, and we will auto resolve that, and we will kick their butts. I mean, she's not even damaged, and we lost a little bit of life in one of our colony militia, so they wish they hadn't done that, and they're all dead. And we got some food as a result of that battle. Yeah, the Marauders, if they do attack colonies, you've just seen it happen twice, but because you've got colony militia, and the Marauders are never as strong as the NPC factions, let alone the AI players, they don't win. So basically they're on a suicide mission usually. And if they do win, you can just send your bigger army back to regain the colony. They do take over forward bases sometimes, because forward bases often only have a small militia, and so they do take over forward bases, but again, like most games, you can't have armies everywhere, you can't have things everywhere, so we're going to send this unit that took forever to create to join up with her, and now she's got an army that's already 325, it's quite good, 325 power. We'll build another thing. Then you've got that kind of like question, do you want to build something quick for 2 turns, in that little clock it says 2 turns, or that 4 turns, which is double the resources to make the energy, but more that it takes long. So I think we will make a few more of these just to have an army. Yeah, we've still got that one building a huntress over there as well. And message from the Spacers faction. So yeah, they offer you missions every so often, and you can see the things you get, and I would suggest these missions from the NPC factions later on, when you're fighting the AI players in full force, they are annoying, because you don't want to waste your soldiers and your time and lose people fighting for these NPC factions, and the battles get hard like everything in this game. But early on I would do them, you get experience, and as you can see in this, you get also 10 of that green circle thing, which I still can't remember what they call that. Anyway, that's good. And you get an Inferno launcher, which sounds cool, and I will say that the weapons you pick up either from missions, or you get given for successful missions, or that you find in areas, are always good when you add them to your leaders. So I would definitely recommend that you do those kind of things. So we will accept that mission, and you can see, as I said at the beginning, there is the little World Cup, Gold Cup, FA Cup, whatever it is, over the place we've got to go. You can look on it and see what's there. There's 490 army power. They're obviously Android based things, or at least tech based things. At least 2 or 3 of them look like that. So yeah, it's not a gimme. And we're certainly not going to send her there because she's not got that power. So then we will probably send our main army in that direction. One thing also to bear in mind when you're doing these, well, any mission, but these NPC faction missions, is there's always a time base on them. So you can see on the left in the top it says Fun Police, that's the name of the mission, and there's 10 turns to do it. And always bear that in mind, because what can happen is you kind of get distracted doing other things. There may be another battle, there may be some bugs to kill, you may be exploring, whatever, and you will suddenly realise that you're, for example, here, and the mission is there, and you won't have the turns to get there. So always keep an eye on the turns, because they're never a rush. You never get one that's like 2 turns. They're always, I think, 10 to be honest. But you just want to make sure that you can get there in time. So yeah, we're going to send her. Probably what I'll do, if I remember, is we'll use our new leader to kill whatever that is, that nasty bug thing, if it's still there. It's obviously on sun. Those little floaty stars suggest there's some resources there or something to collect, so we'll send our new unit when we sort her out, and she's got enough soldiers in our army. We'll send her there to sort them out, and we'll send this army around there. Okay, so I think we've done enough for today. This time we don't need to end on a battle or on a setup for a battle, because there's not one. We are going to have a battle in the next game, because we're going to send her around there. But yeah, I think we'll leave this for now. Like I said, this game is one of those learning curves, and so each video is kind of new bits and pieces to learn and new things that happen. So I don't want to do one that's too long. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be back next time with a continuation of Age of Wonders Planet 4. In the meantime, take care.